Alright, everyone. Today we'll be playing the 1960 election with JFK versus Richard Nixon. And we'll be playing as JFK. And this is the guide of how to win this election. So let's just pick our candidate here. So we got JFK. VP choice will be Lyndon Johnson. We're going to play this on normal. Now, first question. First question, what kind of tone will you attempt to set in your campaign this fall? So the most important thing with JFK is that you always have to emphasize the Cold War. So I would de-emphasize the political aspect of this campaign, emphasize my own personality and leadership ability, and I will stand. Of course, I will make strong statements on the Cold War. So basically, just as long as it says the Cold War, just emphasizing the Cold War, his personality and leadership ability. That's the option we're going to go for. So with the Lyndon B. Johnson, so what do you have to say about the selection of Lyndon Johnson as your running mate? The option you should pick is he's a loyal Southerner, senator of Texas, and will spare no effort to advance the Democratic agenda. So we'll go with that. And it is red as shit. So I guess let's go to Missouri. So do you believe the current levels of defense spending are adequate? Are adequate. So the choice you need to pick there is that you need to pick here is we currently have a missile gap. So I believe that the more vigilance in the area of defense for both military equipment and for missile development, we currently have a missile gap with the Soviet Union. So that would be my choice for number 3. Next question is there was a recent effort in Congress to pass a program to provide medical care to elderly Americans, but it was narrowly defeated. Will you make further push for this type of program as president? So thing you need to pick here. Let's see. Program is a good starting point, but I would much prefer. No, not that one. Uh, I would pick that we would redouble our efforts in the front. Too many of our nation's elderly are unable to afford decent medical care in their advanced years. So that's my option there. Okay, so Missouri, it's split right now. North Carolina, West Virginia. Well, let's go to North Carolina. Are you satisfied with the economy and economic policies of this country over the past 8 years? We must, say that we're not. That's the best option. So where is that option here? Let's see. Uh, we are at the track right now. We need more spending and lower interest rates now. Uh, has failed. No, definitely not the last one. We must do better. So this will be this option must do better. Our present administration has advocated hard money policy, which caused a recession of 1958. So that'll be my answer for number 5. And question 6: is the United States prepared to defend against the Soviet Union today? No, of course not. We can't say that we're definitely not ready because we need to oppose this party. We need to show that our leadership would be the ones who would be ready. So uh, it would be this one. Cuba has lost to the Soviet Union, providing a potential base for communist aggression on the very scope of our nation. I'm very unsatisfied with the current situation. So that'll be my answer for question 6. And so far, we're not doing too hot, but it's still pretty early on. We can still come back from this. We got a lead in New York. We're still, I would say like we're still like relatively good with West Virginia, North Carolina, Nevada, New Mexico, Missouri. I would say even Missouri as well. But everything is still close to call per se. It's just leaning toward Nixon, but that's fine. So the state will pick next. Let's go with Texas because we got Lyndon Johnson as our VP. To believe the United States is adequately prepared to defend against the Soviet Union threat over the next 10 years. We have a missile gap and overly tight monetary policy, so that's the one we'll pick. Richard Nixon has made experience the centerpiece of this campaign. What do you have to say at this point? I'll bring new dynamic leadership as president. So that'll be my pick there. Okay, we're doing pretty good. We got North Carolina leaning to us, West Virginia. Um, so we're doing pretty all right so far. Let's go to Michigan. So anti-Catholicism has been a huge issue for thus far in this campaign, with hundreds of pamphlets and leaflets being distributed across the South and Midwest. Do you have any comment? So I would say maybe I'm like torn between this one. Let's see. It's either will attack that any good Protestant will vote against my candidacy because I happen to be Catholic, but I'll probably go. We can't be out there responding to everything, so we're gonna just ignore the problem for now. Okay, so should the United States apologize to the Soviet Union for the controversy surrounding the down U-2 spy plane and surrounding espionage? So we will absolutely not apologize for that. So that's our pick there. And I I guess like there's not any. What about popular vote? Okay, 52 to 47. Well, it's still early on. This is pre-debate. The debate really sets in motion what will happen in the end. So let's go to Nevada. Okay. Did Dwight Eisenhower do the right thing when he sent federal troops to Little Rock to ensure integration of the high school there? Yeah, Eisenhower did what he had to do in that case. So that's my answer there. There's have been a large number of sit-ins recently where black students and activists are sitting at white-only lunch counters in department stores to advocate for desegregation. Do you support this movement? Yes, I support that movement entirely. Uh, but I'm a little concerned. No, this one would be the one. So movement has full support. So I'll pick that one. Okay, so we're already leaning toward Minnesota. That's pretty good. Okay, anti-Catholicism continues to be an issue. Major newspapers have published a statement by 150 Protestant clergy, including Norman Vincent Peale, opposing any Catholic as president. Do you have any comment on that? Proud Catholic. No. We're gonna take the opportunity to make a major speech on the topic, so we can put it for us to good. So we're gonna do that. And this is the big question here. So we have to go against Nixon. That's like this is the whole point where it could make or break your campaign. This is gonna like lean toward our favor. So this is an absolute like the best answer you could pick. I mean, it even shows here. Okay, so now electorally, 168. It's a lot better than we were before. Popular vote is getting a lot better. It's a little over 1% for Nixon, but we're getting close. We're about halfway through the campaign. So let's go back here. Okay, so let's aim for Pennsylvania. Has the United States adequately defended against the communist threat? Would you support further action there if necessary? Um, okay, so we need to be aggressive in this answer. So let's see. I'm just reading it out. We need to make sure we don't know. I believe we need to. Yeah, so this is the answer. I believe we need to defend South Vietnam at all costs, whatever commitment our forces that entail. So that would be my answer there. This one, since Lyndon Johnson, if I remember correctly, voted for the Taft-Hartley Act, and JFK did the opposite. This is kind of a no-win situation. So we're just going to support Johnson since we need the South a bit. We need to win Texas. So let's see. So we're going to go with that. as you can see. I don't know if we're gonna win Florida. Maybe. Maybe I'll go for Florida. Do you believe the islands of Kwai, Guaymo and Matsu should fall within the United States defense perimeter in Asia? Yes, yes, we do. So I do believe that we should defend these islands. We are committed in defense of Taiwan, and commitment must include all Taiwan to be credible. So that's my answer there. So education. So what is the opinion of the current level of education funding in the United States? Would he increase federal education funding, even if it meant higher taxes? So this will be my answer. Education is the key front of our battle with communism, and that includes adequate pay to respect for our nation's teachers. That would support additional federal spending on this. So yeah. Okay, so far it's getting pretty close. It's 295 to 228. We're getting closer and closer. So let's go for Illinois. Would you support the passage of federal civil rights bill as president to address the worst excesses of segregation in the South? Let me read this. We need to do anything we can to support our nation, forward our issues, including civil rights. And supportive. Yeah, we're gonna pick this one. I'm a supporter of the civil rights bill. We'll work with Congress to get one written and passed. So that's what I'm gonna pick there. Do you believe that Cuba has been lost to the communists as of this time? If so, do you think it's partially the fault of the United States? Um, well, let's see here. So we have unfortunately seen in Cuba is the consequence of the insufficient support for anti-communist governments and movements. We need to be much more aggressive in our actions against the Castro government. Yeah, I would say that's our best answer here. I'll pick that. Okay, let's see, 317 to 206. Let's go to popular vote. About 1% for popular vote for me. So that's pretty good. Okay, so we got Nevada, pretty good. Okay, let's see here. What can we pick? Let's go for like Washington. Hopefully that's not a bad choice, but we're gonna go with it anyway. Do you support minimum wage of $1.25 per hour, with some exceptions for small business, such a measure was recently defeated in Congress? Uh, it would be greatly beneficial. So I support this measure. I believe it will be greatly beneficial to millions of American workers. So yeah. How serious at the current time do you believe the international communist threat is? We have to say it is a big threat. So I would say, yeah, so we should always be concerned about internal subversion, but the external Soviet threat should be our primary focus at this point. So that would be my answer there. Okay. All right, we're going for Texas. Okay, so recently Martin Luther King was arrested at the sit-in in Atlanta, and has now been sentenced to 4 months in prison for failing to get a Georgia driver's license after moving to that state. Do you have any comment or action you would like to take? Um, Maybe an unpopular answer, but to win this election, we're going to make a public comment criticizing this arrest and expressing our hopes that the situation doesn't escalate further. So we are not going to make demand. Uh, we're not going to demand Martin Luther King Jr. to be released, but we have to win this election, so we're going to pick that one. Lady Bird Johnson, LBJ's wife, has been spat on by the gathering of far-right protesters in Dallas hotel lobby. What are your thoughts? No real comments, so we gotta go with that. Okay. Damn. All right, here we go. Getting tough. All right, so man, okay, what to choose here? Okay, let's look at popular vote. Okay, we're about one. Nixon's 1% popular vote above me. Electorally, he's only by 3 points, so this is really close. All right, maybe let's go to, man. What's a good choice to pick? Wisconsin. I think that's for Nixon. Texas, New Mexico. We kind of need we need Pennsylvania real bad. Okay. Focus on Texas in the South. We'll travel to California. We're just gonna focus on Texas. Oh man. Okay. We need to win Texas as well. So let's see. Oh no, this is kind of down to the wire. So the electoral votes was a 3 points off. So we'll see. All right. So for 37 electoral votes, how much is win by Ohio? Oh, that's quite a lot actually. Okay. Oh man, you got Illinois. That's pretty bad actually. Oh damn, you got Wisconsin. Oh man, okay. I might lose this actually. He got Texas. Okay, we're cooked actually. Damn, he got Michigan and Wisconsin. Shit. Might as well wait out the rest. If we can win a Pennsylvania, I'll be pretty happy with that. Okay, we can at least win Pennsylvania, New Mexico. Okay, we won Pennsylvania, but at what cost? And it was the closest state probably. 50.1 to 49.9. Okay, so 189 to 334. Just look at these other states. Yeah, that's pretty close. That's by 1%. Yeah, Wisconsin wasn't that close. Minnesota was pretty close as well. That was pretty close. How about Texas? Oh, damn, Texas, I should have, focused more on my campaign on that. Alright, let's go to final results. Alright, so we lost this one. We lost the Electoral College as well as the popular votes. Popular votes was won by Nixon by 50.6. We only got 48.8. We lost this one, but hey, at least the benefit of this is that we can do it. We can do it again. You know, we don't have to wait 4 years. We can wait